Question, if I asked for you to earn $100,000 in cash, how long would it take for you to get there? 5, 10, maybe even 15 years? Or better yet, what about if I asked for you to save up to that same exact cash amount? It'd probably take you even longer. But what if I told you that you get access to that same amount of capital at a much faster pace through something that's called business funding, where essentially you take a good personal credit report, pair it with a business, and leverage those things to get access to tens of thousands, potentially even hundreds of thousands of dollars in capital that you can invest into cash flowing assets. Well, in this video, I'm gonna give you the step-by-step blueprint on how you can get access to this same type of funding so that you can go from broke boy tears to six-figure years going into 2023. Let's begin. Before you go and apply for business funding, the first thing that you need to do is to make sure that your personal credit report is in good shape. But what does that mean? Well, that means a couple of things. Number one, you need to make sure that your payment history on your credit report is 100% across the board. This means that you can't have any late payments showing on your credit report for Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax within the last 24 months. The next thing is that you want to make sure that your personal credit card utilization is at 10% or below. Now, I know that usually when we hear about personal credit card utilization, the number we're used to hearing is 30%, but that's average. We want to optimize our personal credit report to make it look as good as it possibly can be. And if we want to do that with the utilization, that would mean that our credit card utilization cannot be higher than 10%. The lower your utilization, the better your credit report looks. The next step is we want to make sure that we have no negative accounts on our credit report. This means no evictions, no charge-offs, no collections, no repossessions, no bankruptcies, none of it. All right. And if I see it on your credit report, then I'm gonna slap you. I'm playing. I'm not gonna actually slap you. I'll slap you. I'm dead serious. The next step is we want to make sure that the overall length of our credit history is 2 to 4+ years old. All right. Now, the older your credit history, the better. Just like fine wine. Oh man, that's terrible. And lastly, you want to make sure that you have 6 to 8+ positive accounts showing on your credit report. And when it comes to your inquiries, you never want to have more than 3 to 4 hard inquiries showing on your credit report. Now that your personal credit report is magnifique, the next step is to set up your LLC. And for all of my smokers who are watching this, no, LLC does not stand for let me light a cigarette. All right. What it does stand for is limited liability company. Now, if you've never set up an LLC before, there are 2 ways that you can go about doing so. The first way is by going through your Secretary of State's website. Personally, if you're a beginner, I'm not a proponent of doing this way because I've done it a couple of times myself and it is a bit complicated, which leads me to the second option, which is using a website that is called Incfile. Now, Incfile is an amazing resource that you can use to set up your LLC. Most people are very familiar with LegalZoom because it's one of the top honchos in the space, but I don't like LegalZoom because they charge you for a lot of things to set up your LLC that you normally would not have to pay for. Whereas with Incfile, they don't charge you anything additional than what you would pay if you were going through your Secretary of State website. And they're not paying me to say this, but you know, Incfile, if you're watching, you should be. All right, send the check. After you've gone through Incfile and you finally have your LLC, the next step is going to be to properly structure your business. I won't get into that in this video, but what I will do to provide you guys some extra value is that I'll drop a quick checklist on the screen right now that's going to show you all the different things that you're going to need to ensure that your business is properly structured before you go to these banks to get some business funding. But if you want me to do a separate video where I talk about all of these things more in depth, drop a comment in the section of this video that says part 2, please, and I'll make it happen. And by the way, guys, today's video is sponsored by my credit restoration company, Takeoff Financial. So if you are watching this and you are in need of credit repair, please head over to my website at takeofffinancial.com to schedule a free consultation so that we can help your credit score get to the moon. But back to the video. Now that you have your properly structured personal credit report and your LLC, the next step is going to be to get business funding from these banks. But what banks should you get funding from? I'm glad you asked, Eli, because I'm about to tell you. The 2 best places for you to go and get funding for your business are, number 1, banks that you already have a relationship with. Now, what I mean when I say relationship is that this is a bank that you've had an account open with for at least 6 months, and over the course of those 6 months, you've made consistent deposits into that account. When it comes to business credit and lines of business credit, there are certain banks out there that are more likely to not only approve you for this credit, but also approve you for larger lines of credit when they see that you've already cultivated a relationship with them. If this sounds like a bank that you have a relationship with, then great. But if not, a great place for you to start would be to find said bank, open a personal and business check-ins with them, and deposit some money in there over the course of these next couple of 4 to 6 months so that they can start to see that you're actually interested in having a long-standing relationship with them. One of the best banks that I would recommend for you guys to do this with is a bank that's called Truist Bank. When it comes to Truist Bank, they do a hard pull on Equifax to determine if they're going to approve or deny you for their business credit products. They favor relationship banking. They don't have strict lending requirements like a lot of other banks, but the biggest thing is, when it comes to their business credit products, they actually have no limits as to how much credit they would actually loan out to you. I repeat, there are no limits, meaning that there are people that have gotten $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000 in business funding from Truist Bank. So this is a bank that you definitely want to have your eyes on. If you want to learn more about Truist Bank and potentially making it one of your top funding prospects going into the upcoming year, I'm going to leave a link in the description to a YouTuber by the name of Ralph Means Biz. He did an amazing job breaking down his personal experience of going through the Truist Bank funding process to where he ultimately got approved for $25,000 in business credit. The link for that video is going to be in the description, and make sure you let him know Marvin Francois sent you. This second type of bank that will be the most optimal for your business funding is actually not even a bank. It's called a credit union. So a credit union is actually a non-profit financial institution that's owned by the specific group of people that use its products. Credit unions were created for specific businesses, regions, and individuals within certain communities. So for example, you have credit unions for teachers. You have credit unions for people who have served in the Army and the Navy. You have credit unions for firefighters, credit unions for police officers. I mean, at this current moment in time, right now we're working on a credit union for young Haitian mustache men that run YouTube channels about financial literacy, but that's in the works. I'll keep y'all posted on that. Feel me? Yeah. Lucky for you, if you don't fit any of the criteria that I've just mentioned, there are actually credit unions that allow you to join simply by making a $5 to maybe even a $15 donation into a cause that is directly connected to the credit union. Once you make said donation, there are a lot of credit unions that will give you immediate access to their bank so that you're able to go and get funding. One credit union that I can think of off the top of my head that has a business credit program and allows you to do this is Connexus Credit Union. So if you are interested, definitely look them up and also do some due diligence into some other credit unions that fall in line with this as well. You're welcome. But that's all for this video. Like and subscribe for more. I'm out. Peace.